Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
Can you, you should do it higher pitched.
We are Ryan and Bethany. And today, we'll be talking about Balconia.
All right, and this is designed by Paul Schultz, and it's published by Red Cat and Aries.
All right, so as the name kind of suggests, you are building an apartment building full of different balconies. We definitely started our marriage by living in a couple of apartments, and we had balconies, and there was definitely, it was not as pleasant as these balconies.
Oh my gosh, I would love these balconies.
All these fun neighbors and stuff. No, we just had I don't know, people breathing pot smoke down on us and stuff.
Yeah.
So let's talk about these balconies. Basically, this is a two-player only game. There's kind of this construct of the actual apartment building itself in between you with all these big open windows. On your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to be drafting balconies to slide into these windows. That's going to be one side facing you, one side's facing your opponent. And it's going to be good regardless. It's going to be scoring for you both either way. So what's going to happen is you're going to be given a number. It refers to one of these balconies, kind of these squares. You're going to take that, and you are going to look at all four sides of them and just figure out which ones you're kind of okay with. You're going to have two of them that you get to choose from that are going to be facing your side of this little drafting tile, this choosing tile. And then your opponent then gets to see, okay, I see what they want, and I see what I'll be getting as well, because the other sides are going to be what they can choose from. And then the opposite side is obviously what's going to be put through. Then they're going to actually choose which one they like, and they're going to choose a spot in the windows to put it into, slide it into, and that's going to be where it lives for the rest of the game. Then it changes place. The other person, they choose a tile, which is going to give them the one of those balconies, which then they're going to choose which sides they like, and you're going to pick which side of that you're like, and slide it in over and over again until you've filled up this balconies, all these balconies of this apartment complex. And you have all these different scoring parameters, all these different little pictures that kind of fulfill what the scoring parameters are. That's the whole game. You're drafting these things, putting them in, scoring them.
Yes, that's it. So this game has a really interesting I cut, you choose mechanism. So that's just where I'm going to cut this, and then you, with what I chose, you get to choose what's happening with it. And I just thought it was really clever how it is that mechanism, but you're still not guaranteed anything either, because even though you like these two things, you might want them in a certain part of the grid, and your opponent might put this in a completely different spot on the grid, which happened all the time. All the time, every time I played this game, but it was still really fun. And then also, you might know there's a rule in the game where you're not allowed to see what your opponent, you're not allowed to see their side, what's facing them, but you might remember what they have. So you might remember that they're going for a certain thing, and so you might, if you play like me, you might intentionally be like, guess what? You don't get this. I know you're looking for this. It's going to be either I'm going to put this on my side, so you don't get this anymore. So there is a little bit of hate drafting in this I cut, you choose mechanism as well.
I am a player who does not generally care about theme a whole lot. I'm more about the mechanisms, and that's kind of it. I just like playing the game, working out the math of it, and that's fun for me. But in this, there were so many little kind of stories that got told as you're placing this apartment, balconies. And maybe that's because of how we've lived in those before when we were very first married. But there's these little things like, okay, there's Dracula, right? There's a little picture of Dracula, and his scoring parameter is he wants as many shades as possible, which is hilarious. Yeah, it's adorable. Yeah. And then later, there's these little birds, these little cute little lovebirds. And in their little row, they don't want any cats, which makes sense. This is all these little fun little stories that come out. And as you're drafting a lot of the same kinds of things to try to make those scoring parameters pop, these stories are just bound to emerge, these little kind of thematic little stories that you're just bound to tell and see play out. And it's very cute and very fun. And that was happening while I was also enjoying the mechanisms.
Yeah,
it wasn't just like it was... So,
that was the game.
Right.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a little cherry on top of the mechanisms, which I also enjoyed.
I also really like it when games help me play the games, whether that's they do the bookkeeping for me or they help me in a different way. And this game did it in two different ways. One, so you're not filling out the complete grid. So there's some tiles that you're not even playing with. And instead of looking what's available and just choosing one or setting them up at random or whatever, they actually have these tokens. So you choose a token and then you take that tile because there's a number in it. And now you only have 4 choices instead of like
Infinite.
lots of choices. And so I like that it cut that down so you can actually focus on the gameplay while not focusing on the pre-gameplay. And then also that grid that they put it in, the selection disc, it was so nice because you can just pick it up and like twist it around without losing the order, without losing who's on whose side. So you can think about it and then like even just test it out in your different places of where it's going to work without losing how it was placed. So I just really like, it's so simple. I mean, this isn't like a super complex game. It's so simple, and yet it gave me these mechanisms that made it easier for me to play the game without taking away any of the game's complexity.
The scoring for this game was very, very easy. Basically, the score pad was just kind of a mirror image of the apartment complex itself. And then you just go through each tile, and you ignore all the other tiles around it. You just score it itself, and whatever it says. There's 3 parts of each one of these boxes, or each one of these pictures. The first one is just the picture itself. What elements does it have? The next thing down is what is the location that's going to be scoring. And the next thing after that is what is the elements that score for that thing. So you just look at each tile individually, follow its own little set of parameters, look at its own row or its own column or it's surrounding it or whatever it is, and then score those things. And then you write that down on your score pad and go to the next location. So you're going to write down whatever it is, 15 or 16 little scores on your pad, and then add it all up. It was very, very clear. I'm glad they did it like that instead of just saying, okay, now do the math and figure it out and go. You needed to score each one individually, which they made it very easy to do.
Aries, you sly dog. Like, don't you just do war games and you come out with this wonderful gem? How dare you create such a lovely 2-player game when that's like not what people think of when they think of you? Like, oh my gosh, so impressed. Love that they did this. Absolutely adorable. You guys know that Ryan and I play a lot of 2-player games, and this one was so much fun when we were playing with it. I'm like blown away that this company produced this game, and it was so much fun. Like, yeah.
I like it when games. Well, it's not always. It's risky, right?
It's super risky.
Companies will come up with something that's like outside of their wheelhouse, and it's either going to be no one's going to like it, or it's just amazing. In this case, it's both. I don't know if their fans of Aries are going to be choosing this one off the shelf, but guess what? They should, because it's so weird and interesting.
Yeah.
And conversely, I don't know if people who are normally like this style of game are going to even look towards Aries to make something like this.
Yeah.
But you should, because it's freaking fun. It was charming. I was absolutely charmed the entire time playing this.
Yes.
It was really interesting. It's a 2-player game that just worked really well being on opposite sides of the table. A little tiny bit of downtime, but that was not a problem for me because it also lended itself well to just be talking. Talk about the artwork itself, talk about the gameplay, talk about what's going on in your day. It was a perfect kind of 2-player game. It had a great table presence. It's the kind of game that if I had seen someone playing this like at a convention or whatever, I was like, what is going on with that? That's so cool. I love that structure that you guys are doing. Very cool. Big toy factor to it. Absolutely charming. I recommend this one so much more than I thought I would. It is really fun to play and really fun to experience.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out. Until then, you can find us in all of these places.
You guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.